Listen up, partners. This is Good, Bad, Ugly on World Improv Network.
Good evening, everyone. I am Alex.
My name is Asa.
I'm Jim.
And we are your astute wind counselors that get you through the week with any problems you might be facing or any daily grind issues that you're currently experiencing. Let's get right to it. We have Anita from Las Vegas, California. She writes, Dear Win, what should I do when I have to scurry into a public bathroom because I really have to go and there's no toilet paper? God, Jim, didn't this happen to you like a week ago?
This actually literally happened to me last night. I moved into my new house,
right?
And I was like, oh, I need to use the bathroom. Realized I had no toilet paper in the house.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Well, I fortunately found a napkin. So I'd say if you're at a place where there's food nearby, just scurry past a napkin dispenser on your way in.
So just to be safe, kind of like, preventative maintenance, just in case they don't have anything in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Ace.
Use your hand and wash it off.
And that's very green. I mean, that's, being conscious, not chopping on trees and stuff like that. I could see that from you, Ace. That makes total sense. Anita, I would say kind of a little bit of both. I mean, socks, right? I'm assuming you probably wear socks most of the time. No one ever looks at your socks. So in that scenario, just pull off one sock. You've got two anyway. And use that sock. Put it back on. By the time you even recognize it's already dry. And when you get home, you can just throw it in the laundry basket. And no one ever knew that you had an emergency in the bathroom.
Well, what are you doing to the inside of your shoe?
Well,
you're going to have to wash your shoes, too.
You turn the sock inside out.
Oh, so it's on your foot.
Right.
All right.
Right, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And if you have like a soft sole shoe, you could use your shoe too, or even like a insert, like a Dr. Scholl's insert. Those are pretty soft. You could use that. But yeah, something down by your feet, down by your ankles, because no one ever looks at your feet unless you sell shoes.
Good call.
Yeah. Okay, our next winner is Tyler from Thousands Oak, California, and he writes, Dear Win, what are your guys' take on the Insane Clown Posse, or ICP groupies known as Juggalos? Asa, do you listen to ICP?
Constantly.
All the time.
Yeah, one of my favorite songs by them is called Miracles.
Miracles, yeah.
It's really strange, actually, to see you without face paint on today.
This is the first time.
Little known fact is, for all the listeners out there who can't see us, I always have my Juggalo face paint on. And then when we do the photos, I wash it off.
And his hoodie too. He has the hoodie that you paid like $100 for it at the last ICP concert, right?
Yeah, and I got it signed and everything. And I'm always drinking some Faygo. Yep, some of my favorite flavored fizzy pop.
So your take is positive on the Juggalos.
Oh yeah, I think they.
Have you gone to their festival that they have every year? Like you have Ice Cube, the Gathering of Juggalos. The Gathering, just the Gathering as it's known.
I haven't had the opportunity yet, but
man,
I think the ICP, I think they are elevating consciousness, and they are raising the artistic bar for the rest of the musicians and other artists around the world.
Yeah, my take on it is that I don't know a lot about the ICP Juggalos, but I do know that Miley Cyrus and Justin Bieber are now officially Juggalos themselves, and they're going to be performing at the next gathering. So I would probably...
There's a lot of controversy around that in the Juggalo circles.
Really? What's the main controversy? Is it because of Bieber, or is it because of Miley Cyrus?
Because they're so mainstream.
Right.
And the ICP are all about representing the underground and real grassroots stuff, not being sponsored by some major record label like Columbia or whatever.
And I got a text too that's indicating that Miley Cyrus was actually thinking about during her performance at this year's gathering to bring a wrecking ball and actually swing it through the crowd.
That would be dope.
That would be dope, and that might give her some street cred with the ICP Juggalos, huh? She did something.
Oh yeah.
Jimbo.
I'm pro Juggalo, because without them we wouldn't have Magic the Gathering of the Juggalos. Which is my personal favorite pastime.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's where it started then, right? At the gathering itself.
Yeah. People, just individual juggalos created magic cards of themselves.
Oh.
And then people would just get together and they'd play with, groups of of cards that they assembled of their other concert goers.
Oh, yeah. And that's why they're traded and sold so religiously, and also why they're so expensive. Some of them, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think my Magic the Gathering of the Juggalos deck is worth. I think it's up to $22,000. I've invested in it now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? Is that what you used to get your house?
Oh,
you recently purchased a house, didn't you, Jim?
Yeah. No, Alex, I would never sell my Magic the Gathering of the Juggalos cards.
And you would never use that as collateral to get a credit line or anything?
God, no.
Okay.
No, some things are sacred, Alex.
Yeah, sure, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, Jim. Okay.
Yeah, well, sometimes sorry doesn't cut it.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Like in court cases, sometimes it just doesn't cut it.
Yeah.
Well, Matt from San Jose, California writes, Dear Win, what's the best way to handle or deal with an a-hole supervisor? Well, I mean, Ace, what do you think about that? I mean, your concept of transitioning from jobs possibly soon.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, I don't know if your supervisor is down those kind of lines.
Well, hopefully they're not listening.
Yes.
Well, if they're any kind of a-hole, they're an awesome hole.
That's exactly what that means, yes. That's why you continue to work with further guys, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is so cool. I mean, you tell me all the time how cool your bosses and your coworkers are.
Though I feel like our listener here is referring to a different kind of a-hole, more in a negative way.
Like an astrological hole?
That sounds about right.
Jim, I mean, you're...
Yeah. He, if your boss is a black hole, is probably what he's going for. Just sucking in all the positivity out of the workforce and never letting it out. And what do you do in that circumstance? I say you lean into it. Just get sucked into the darkness of your boss and become part of him.
Well, that's a good idea. Mm-hmm. Winner, what I would say is go to the bathroom, take your sock off, take care of business. That's how you deal with a really, really nasty a-hole. Pepper from Aurora, Colorado writes, Dear Win, I recently turned 26 and I think I just hit puberty.
Happy birthday.
That's right. Happy birthday. Well, there's another birthday that's going on around here.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say 26?
26.
Okay.
And he says he just thinks he hit puberty. He said his question is this weird or medically odd? Well, again, let's go back to the scientist. Jimbo, what do you think? You think this is kind of weird?
Yes, according to my 9th grade health class, yes. Very weird.
Okay. So, I mean, should he feel ashamed to the point where he should not see the light of day and hide himself from public, or do you think...
No, exactly the opposite. I think he should have been doing that up until this point. But now that he's gone through puberty, he has more hair on his body. I say get a pair of chaps and a really tight Speedo and show it off.
Yeah, because now he's not just he's an average everyday boy or guy now, so he might as well stand out a little bit where he stood out before being... not in puberty yet at such a old age, I guess. Well, let's see. I think it is a little bit odd, not from a scientific standpoint, but I think it's probably because of what you ate when you grew up. It's probably all the GMOs in your food. Possibly, you were locked in your closet and made to be hung upside down like a bat, and therefore you didn't see enough sun to get enough vitamin D, and therefore it took you so long to hit puberty. Let that little clock click and say, oh, time for you to start growing something. What do you think, Ace?
I don't know. I'm skeptical if this is your first time going through puberty. It sounds like you might be having a second or third puberty.
Midlife or quarter life puberty?
I mean, it has been documented that men and women go through multiple puberties throughout their life, and each one represents a different phase, and they can be triggered by dietary things. Like if you've been eating dog food, that can trigger a puberty.
Man.
If you're going through...
Well, unless it's Purina, because that has no byproducts.
Right. If it's Purina, then
that's just filler.
It's filler, so it's good, right?
So it doesn't sound particularly unusual, just with each puberty, you're going to get more experience and you're going to know better how to handle a puberty.
So it's almost like a wisdom thing. You're gaining wisdom each time you hit puberty.
Yeah, I mean, just enjoy the ride.
Any idea how many times you can hit puberty throughout a life?
The most recent documentation was a 7th puberty by a woman who was in her mid-80s.
Oh, maybe that's where the whole thing...
It's about a puberty per decade.
Yeah, okay, that's cool, man. That's really cool. And that's what they say, every 10 years, redefine yourself. Maybe
really?
Yeah, maybe they're referring to puberty, or the 7th sign is your 7th puberty. God, we should... Jim, you should dig deeper into that. You do some calculations on that and see what you come back with.
I'll work on that, Alex. I will report back to you next week.
All right, let's do one more here before we get to the end of the show. We have Wayne from Boston, Massachusetts. He writes, Dear Win, even though Sister Helen Prejean from the hit movie Dead Man Walking testified on behalf of convicted Boston Marathon bomber Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, do you think he should still get the death sentence or the life in prison, or what sort of sentence should he get? Asa.
He should be sentenced to some kind of like Greek mythological punishment, like running for eternity.
Oh man, that's cool. And he could stay in shape too. What do you think, Jimbo?
I think he should just be locked into a boat, like one of those little rowboats with just a tarp over top and just like sealed in there.
Ironically, the kind of boat that he was found in?
Exactly, yes. Let the punishment fit the crime.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea, great suggestion. However, I have his sentence. It is, he's a cat in a hat with a bat, sitting on a poodle in a puddle, eating noodles and ramen noodles, also having a spoonful of ice cream. That's it. And there's one more little piece of inspiration, gets you through the rest of the week, known as Horoscope Corner.
Love, fortune, status. Let us do your astrological chart. Horoscope Corner on World Improv Network.
Hey, Taurus. We know you want to tour us here in the Win Studio because our bodies are a wonderland that's all for you. But you can't unless you go to the World Improv Network Facebook page and like us. Go to iTunes, leave a review, give us some stars, download, subscribe. Check us out on YouTube, the World Improv Network YouTube channel. Like videos, listen to us, follow us. And then maybe you can come and tour us.
Thanks for listening to Win on KZKO. Don't forget to interact with the cast by sending your suggestions for each segment throughout the week by hitting them up on Facebook at World Improv Network, Twitter at World Improv Net, or the Win KZKO blog. See you next week.